congratulate you for your second season.
Thank you so much. Excited to be promoting it.
Of course, and also your new home for your second season, Roku.
So cool. I know I feel so lucky that, Chad fans will get to see season 2, but also thanks to it being now at Roku, which is in so many households, I feel like an entire new fan base will be found with people that might have not otherwise seen the show. And luckily it's streaming for free and everyone can check it out.
That's right. But I do have to compliment you. You and I are the same age, but there's no way I'd be able to pull off looking like a 14-year-old.
Oh, hey, you never know with the right hair and makeup. Those people are magicians.
So did
I
you
really,
have some input in creating Chad?
yeah, it was a real collaborative process between myself and the hair and makeup team because there's just so many different ways it could have gone. And we tried on more than one wig and we tried on so many different eyebrows that were, laid on with lace. And there were some that really did not read as a little boy, even though it might have been a haircut that would work on an actual boy. And then by the time we narrowed it down, we kind of knew what would work. But it's incredible. Like, honestly, even if I were to just wear the wig sometimes, but the eyebrows weren't on yet, I just would look like Kris Jenner. Like, it didn't translate until it was everything together. But once, all the components were there, and from hair to eyebrows to the makeup to the posture and the clothing wardrobe, I really felt like I could disappear into the character and embody him.
Let's talk about the second season. I mean, the first one, he's just, Chad's trying to fit in, to become
Yep.
cool. Second season, I mean, just the first episode alone, so much happens.
No, he gets a taste of popularity and it all, that house of cards comes crashing down, which felt like a fun way to launch into season 2, because obviously you want to stay true to the character, but you also want it to evolve and not feel redundant from what you already saw in season 1. So yeah, we have his grandma come visit. We gave him a love story. We gave him, in that love story, we gave him something else to focus on outside of himself. And it was fun. It was fun to see. It was fun to play Chad having a crush on someone and, navigating that, navigating liking someone, for the first time, and possibly even taking that too too far in the finale where he ultimately follows her to Paris.
Yes. And one thing that I like that it kept was its importance in connecting to his roots. At first he's kind of fighting it, but at the end, I mean, even just falling in love with the rug, just little
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah, we wanted him, we felt like the character could grow incrementally, like he's not overnight sophomore year just going to be this totally different kid who's like fully embracing his cultural heritage, but it did feel honest to have him grow just a little bit and learn to be a little less mortified by it. Season 1, he's just so desperate to fit in. He's really kind of shoving away all of the otherness that comes with being an immigrant kid. And then in season 2, it felt cool to give him a little bit after he hits rock bottom, give him a little peace with that reconciliation and a sense of acceptance of that part of who he is, which yes happens to be a kid that's caught between these two cultures. And we build to an episode where he literally spells out, I've always felt like I'm too Persian to be Persian and I'm too American to be totally American. And I think a lot of kids that come from different backgrounds, regardless of where your parents immigrated from, can relate to that.
Yes, definitely. Chad has this. He does internally does stay true even with the friendship.
Totally. That dynamic with Peter, you mean his best friend? Yeah, who is just played by such an extraordinary actor, Jake Ryan. Yeah, it felt also fun to explore the ways that Peter is maturing that ultimately lets, results in Chad feeling a little left behind, since Peter is in a romantic relationship and, you know, he's ready for things that Chad is like a little delayed in, which so stemmed from my own adolescence of being a completely like just being such a late bloomer. But yeah, it's fun to establish characters in a world, and you know, in particular Chad's family that's played also by these three incredible actors that play Saba, Ella, and Paul Chahidi. They really anchor the show as Chad's family, and it's him that gets in his own way more than any other character. You know, he's his own obstacle. So um it's cool to establish that world and that family dynamic in the first season of a show, and then kind of play with where you could take it in season 2. And I feel really proud and lucky that we were able to do that from the writers room all the way through to the edit. It was such a joy to crack season 2.
So how was it for you to play Chad for the second season, returning? Did you feel this embodying Chad a little differently, the experience?
You know, at that point, it was such a familiar zone to me, having had an entire season under my belt, that I really was, with the help of Max Searle, who I was my co-showrunner, I really wanted to focus on the writing and to make sure we are taking the character in a direction that feels fresh and fun and cool for the second season of a show. And yeah, I really do feel like we accomplished that in terms of like getting in and out of character. At that point, it was so second nature to me. You know, the 10,000 hours of playing Chad felt like, by season 2, it was not, you know, unfamiliar. It was more about having fun improvising as him and thinking of new things on the day, even that we could come up with. You know, by the time you're on set, you've spent 16 weeks from the writer's room with those lines. So it's always fun to throw out new things and to improvise and come up with new little ideas that end up being these fun surprises you can then cut together in the edit.
Now, I didn't get to talk to you for the first season, but I am curious to how Chad even came about.
Yeah, I really wanted to write something that felt authentic to my upbringing as an immigrant kid. And I knew it would be a wild swing to play a 14-year-old boy, but once I sort of figured out the character and his pathology and what he wanted, it honestly just felt like such a fun part to play that I begged the network to let me play it. And there was certainly some resistance at first, and they gently encouraged me to play the mom. But to me, the whole DNA of the show was in the notion of an adult woman that has distance and perspective from being a teenager, embodying that character, because teenagers don't know what's so funny about being a teenager. And I thought you could just push the comedy a lot further if you had an adult believably portraying what it's like to be a 14-year-old boy, rather than watching an actual teen actor suffer through some of those awkward moments of adolescence.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations. I enjoyed, so, and I remember my Chad moments from back in the day. Thank you.
Oh. Well, hopefully that's not the worst thing, but thanks for watching it.
Oh, thank you. Congratulations.